What's up, y'all? It's Celeste, and I had double incision top surgery with free nipple grafts a few weeks ago with Dr. Garramone, and so now I'm going to show you how I do the nipple dressings that are part of the aftercare for that. This is all based on the instructions that I was given by Dr. Garramone, and slightly modified because of the particular items that I'm using. But obviously, if you have a different surgeon who has different steps that they might want you to follow for your aftercare, then you should do what your doctor says. But this is just the way that I'm doing it. I thought this might be useful to other patients of Dr. Garramone's or to anybody who's just curious about the aftercare of this particular kind of surgery. The items I'm going to be using are Xeroform dressing, which I received from Dr. Garramone. These small scissors, which I also received from him, and I'm going to be using those to cut the Xeroform. Neosporin ointment. Safe and simple, no sting, skin barrier film. Piece of gauze, and Metapore H cloth tape. Alternately, instead of the gauze and tape, you can use a Telfa adhesive dressing or just a square band-aid. I used these for a while and they irritated my skin, the adhesive did, so that's why I switched to these. But if you don't have really sensitive skin, then these are actually a lot easier to use because you just stick them on. So I'll show you both methods and you can just decide for yourself which one you want to do. I received 2 of these Xeroform packets from Dr. Garramone, and I just finished the first one, so I'm going to open this second one for the first time. The Xeroform itself is a little bit gross. It's basically gauze that has this substance all over it, so it can kind of get on your fingers and on the scissors a little bit. But basically what you're going to do, the Xeroform, this is all actually one piece that it's kind of accordion folded and then flattened in here. So what you want to do is just get one layer of it up. Once you get up a piece of it, the way that I've actually been doing it is to do an entire row at once. So I'm going to cut this entire sort of flap here. That will be one row. I'm going to go ahead and cut that whole thing. Okay, so I have this line cut here, and I'm going to split this into 5 different pieces, and that's just the size that works really well for my areola size. Obviously it can vary depending on your particular size, but that's what I'm going to do here. Okay, so I have it cut into 5 different pieces here, and I just find it easier to go ahead and do this like one row at a time as opposed to cutting out each square as I need it. It just makes it a little bit easier and then I don't have to do it every single day. But what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the pieces and line it up with your areola and just put it on there like that. And then do the same thing on the other side. Like that. Then you're going to take the Neosporin and get a pretty decent amount of it. I usually use about that much because that's about what Dr. Garramone used. He actually used maybe a little bit more than this when he did it on me, but you're just going to take it and put it in the middle and then kind of spread it around like this. And I like to do it all the way to the edges because it kind of helps anchor the Xeroform to your skin. And just in case you're wondering, this does not hurt to do. I personally can't really feel it a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot of sensation in this area right now. So it's not painful to do this even though these are still healing. It's maybe a little bit sensitive, but it's not an unpleasant experience. It's also not like a fun experience. It's not like a pleasurable thing or anything like that because I don't have that kind of sensation here right now. Now I'm going to go wash my fingers because they're really gross. They have Xeroform stuff and Neosporin on them. And now you're going to want to put some kind of bandage over these to protect them. Originally I was using these Telfa pads, and I will show you what they look like. Open up the package here, and it's basically kind of like a gauze rectangle, but it has this extra film on it that protects your skin from sticking to the gauze. It's not really necessary. for this particular thing because you already have Xeroform over the wound, but it makes it a little bit easier because it only has adhesive on the two sides here. These just pull down on the two sides. There's nothing on the top and bottom, so that makes it a little bit easier. Depending on how you're sticking this on, it can kind of protect your incisions a little bit more. But I'm not going to use this because, like I said, the adhesive did bother my skin after a few days. So instead, I'm going to first use this skin barrier wipe, which protects my skin a little bit from that happening, even though I don't really have that problem as much with this tape. But I'm going to go ahead and just show you how I use this, just in case you want to use these yourself. So you basically just open the package, and it's kind of like a baby wipe. You just take it and wipe it where you're going to be using adhesive. And I'm going to be just doing it on the sides here. So that's where I'm going to wipe it. Now I'm going to put the gauze over it, and you can actually just use an entire piece of gauze like this and tape it along the top and bottom. That's fine, but it uses a lot more tape, and I found it to be a little bit less sort of stable because it just tends to pull a little bit more because it's so much bigger and there's so much more of it that doesn't have tape on it. So what I actually do is I fold it in half like this and cut it in half. So then I have two pieces. I fold each of these in half, and then I use one half on each side. So it just makes it a little bit more stable to be kind of more compact. And then take this tape here. This particular tape is perforated, so it makes 2-inch squares when you pull it off like this. So I just take one square on each side, and I try to have not too much of the tape actually overhanging the edge because I don't want too much of it sticking to my skin because it's just kind of irritating. You can use as much as you want, but that's how I do it. So I end up with most of it actually not being used, which is kind of wasteful. That's the only problem that I have with this tape. But on the other hand, it does make this part a little more stable, even beyond what it already is from making it more compact. So that's pretty good. So basically you just take it and just stick it on like that. And that's it. So now I'm just going to do it on the other side. And there you go. All done. I hope that was helpful, and if you have any other questions, you can leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my future content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.